All right. Good morning. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? All right. This is the next iteration. This is a very simple iteration. Hopefully, I don't go over 20 minutes. It shouldn't because, you know, uh, it's a very simple thing to do. For those of you that are catching up with us, we are currently on video number 8, day 8. This one is going to be, hold on, let me see, 7, 8, 9, I believe. 9, I'm sorry. Game over. We're going to work on game over. So first off, let's go ahead and hit up our script. That's where it's going to happen. And we're going to do it for the... Huh, how'd that happen? We're going to do it for the asteroid. Oh, these are the wrong scripts. Oh, no. I had some other scripts join us here, so these are the wrong ones. This is an older version. This is the one I want. So we're going to do it when the spaceship dies. So we're going to work on player 1. When player 1 dies, after it runs out of lives, then we want that game over thing to come up, right? So we need to go to here when lives is um, less than 0. We're going to go ahead and do the game over right here, just like we made a note. So it'll be game over. And what we're doing is we're going to be calling a function called game over, and we'll create that here in just a second. So we're going to go ahead and close that out, and we're going to put the game over void after audio play. So let's find the end of this void collision. This one's it right here, and you can do that by hovering over it. So right here is where we'll write our next void, our next function called game over. Over. Okay. Sometimes these things get a little on my nerves. And let me see our brackets, right? All right, so that's our game over. That's the reference we're going to be doing. So what we want to do is, how we got this invoked to respawn? Well, once game is over, we're going to go ahead and cancel this invoke, okay? So we want to uh, capital C, cancel, invoke. And what that's going to do is not going to let it, it's not going to let it respawn anymore, all right? And we need to go ahead and close it out because it's like that. So cancel invoke is going to be another function that we're going to make, okay? All right, so the next thing we want to do is go ahead and save it and test it out. What we're going to do is we're going to give ourselves maybe 2 lives here after it updates itself. And then you want to go ahead and check it out and see if it works. After player 1 dies or loses all its lives, you should, let me see, where's it at? Cancel that. Here they are, lives. I put it in the code, didn't I? All right. So let's go with 2 lives when we start. Let's change that to 2 for now, and then we'll come back and change it later. Hit save. Gonna hit play. All right, so I should not be brought back after I strike a rock. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and boom. And I should not come back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not back. All right, good. Okay. So let's not forget to do file, save, file, Oh, yes, I got to exit. Correct. Unity. Save and file. Save project. Okay. All right. So it's working. So now let's go ahead and add some UI to this little thing here. So that way we get that big old sign that says "Game Over, losers." All right. So that'll be the next thing we do. Okay. All right. So we want to go ahead and come over here to the canvas that we've already built. You're going to right click that canvas and you're going to look for UI and you're going to look for panel. Just like we did with falling objects, okay? So what that's going to do, it's going to take up the whole screen. You need to zoom out, and it's going to fill up your canvas, okay? It's going to fill up your canvas all the way, left and right. So what you want to do is probably, let's go ahead and anchor it down to the center, okay? And then we can go ahead and use our little arrows here to bring in our panel, okay? All right, so if you want to center it perfectly, just come over here, make that a 0, make your Y a 0, and this will be centered nice and clean. Let me see, game, yeah, that looks pretty good. You can also change the color if you want. I'm gonna make mine light blue maybe, and then make it pop with those red colors. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Maybe a lighter blue. To contrast, or purple. To contrast the blue that I already have. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Alright. Feel free to do whatever you want with this. I might have to go back to baby blue because I forgot I'm going to use some dark letters. Alright. Okay, so we're here. Everybody's centered. Good to go. Got it the right size you want. Remember, we're also going to add 2 buttons, so make sure you make it big enough to have the word Game Over and also the 2 buttons that we're going to have, just like we did for the Falling Objects game, okay? So make sure you have enough room for that. All right, so let's go ahead and rename this. Let's rename it Game Over Panel, okay? So we don't get confused. Game Over Panel, hit enter. All right, so now we want to create some words in here, right? So we want to right click over the Game Over panel. That way they become children of the Game Over panel. So we need to go to Text Mesh Pro. We're going to go ahead and move this. Let me see what we got here. Make it nice and large. Okay. All right. So we're going to make this, I'm going to center this and center that. And we're going to change the text to cap locks Game Over. All right. Change the color. And change the size. Text style size. Let's try 50. Let's see what 50 looks like. It's not too bad. Let's make it bold. Let's try 60. That looks good. Let's try 70. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. Okay, I like that. 70 looks good. All right, I went ahead and changed it. I went to 90, so this looks a little bit better. All right, if you hit Shift and Spacebar, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you guys this. It'll show you how it looks like in the in the scene, okay? At a bigger size, so, or you can just do this like I'm doing. All right. We're gonna go ahead and add some buttons here. So let's go ahead and go back to our game over panel. Let's go to UI and let's look for our buttons. There it is, buttons. All right, and again, you move your button over here. See how big it looks. Might want to go bigger. Okay, let's see what that looks like. That looks a little bit better. Let me see what else I want to do. All right, so what I did was I changed my my text on the button. I went to text. I came over here. I put the word play again. Again, I can make that bold. I can also change the button color if I wanted to. I can go with a uh, darker blue or a black color. Okay, make that pop again. Okay, change my text size, maybe a 40. Nope, too big. 30. That looks good. Okay, again, use this to compare. Oh, that looks good. And once I'm satisfied with it, I can go ahead and just right click and duplicate, right? So now I got another button here. And make sure I go back to my scene and move it over here. Okay. Hey, what happened? Control Z. All right. I always prefer using a move tool. I don't know why this stuff does this way sometimes. So it's there. It's just it needs some color in the background. You know what I did? I did it wrong. I copied the text instead of the button. That's my fault, folks. All right, so button, duplicate. Okay, so now I have another button. I can move it over here, and that button can say menu. Because we're going to add a menu to this, so let's go ahead and change that to menu. Menu. All right. See how it looks. Looks good. See how it looks full screen. Shift spacebar. Good. That looks great. Great. All right. So let me see what else we need to do. Now we need to incorporate this into our script. So let's go ahead and get ready to do that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and name these buttons right here. This one right here is the play again button. So let's go ahead and rename it. And the next button is the menu button. So rename that. I just realized I have my cap locks on, so we're going to go ahead and leave that alone. So just to recap, we just created a game over panel. This game over panel, we changed the color a little bit. We also added a play again button and a menu button. And this panel right here, we colored it. But you know what you can also do? You can also decrease the alpha or the transparency. And that looks pretty good right there. So when that pops up, shift space, it's going to look like that. Looks nice. All right. Shift space takes you back. All right. Let me see what else before we finish. I think that should cover it all. All right. So our object is to turn this game panel on when the game is over. Okay. So what we're going to do is first, let's go ahead and keep it off. Right. And then when we start playing, lives. We lose our lives, and then we are going to activate the game over panel to come back on. Okay? So let's go to our spaceship link. Public game object. And we'll call this a game over panel. All right, so this is what we're going to use to attach that game over panel to it. That way it's its reference. So where are we going to make this come up? Obviously when the game is over. So it'll be here. Game over panel. And we're going to set it to active. Okay. And we're going to tell it that we want to be true. So that means we're going to make it turn on. If we want it to be turned off, it'd be false. All right, coming back here. Hey, I made a mistake. It's not the canvas. It's the game over panel that I want to turn off. So let me turn back this canvas, and I want to turn off the game over panel. Okay. Because I still want to see my lives and my score. So it's a game over panel that I want to turn off. So let me see. Go back to my script real quick. Make sure I saved it. I didn't. So hit save. Go back to my script here. My Unity. And what I'm looking for is my player 1. As soon as it finishes updating. All right, so what we need to do now is go to our player 1. You notice that we have a game over panel that we need to throw in here, this game object, which is this right here. Go ahead and just drag it over and drop it in. Now, when we play, we should have the game over panel get activated. So let's go ahead and test that out. Let's run into, that's 1. And after I die here, I should get the game over panel. And there it is. Okay. Easy peasy. All right. All right. So the next thing we want to do is activate those that canvas, that one button. Let's take a look real quick. And that is the, let me activate it so we can see it. So we got the play again. If you look at the play again button, we have a, let me see. Right now, an on click. We need to set this up in the code. In order for us to be able to click on it, it needs to be able to take us somewhere, right? So we need to set that up with the code. We need to go to the player 1 code. We need to, we're going to create something here. So we need to first let it know that we're going to be using the scene manager. And that is going to be up here, okay? So you need to go up here, type in using Unity, capital U, Unity, and that is engine. And it's going to be scene management right there, okay? right, and then we close it out. This lets us know that we're going to be using this, the scene manager. And what we need to do is go down here and create another void. And that will be after this one right here, folks. So it'll be a public, okay, public void, because we need to be able to access it. All right. And this one is going to be called play again. All right. And that. Oh, what happened there? Control Z. Then we need to do that. All right. All right, so we need to go ahead and activate that scene. So we need to go dive into the scene manager. And we're going to tell it to load the scene. And what scene are we going to load it? We're going to tell it by creating a string. Now you can tell it by a number, but I prefer using the name that we gave our scene. So most of us are still using sample scene is the one we're going to use, sample scene. So you would find your name right here. Okay, so this is the scene that we're going to load up. When we hit play again, it's going to revert back to this one. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure it's spelled with a capital S and a capital S, sample scene, no spaces. All right, so I'm going to go back to my code and type in sample scene. Okay, just like that. Close it out. All right, so now we have to tell it, now that we told it what scene, we need to make sure we set that up with Unity and just double check a few things. All right, let's go back inside Unity. Come on. All right, so right now Unity doesn't know what scene it wants you to use. Even though you told it to, you just have to make sure you activate the scene. If you guys remember when you build it, you got to go to build settings. Right now it is checked off, scene, sample scene. And if you had multiple ones, you would tell it which one specifically you would need to go back to. And here's the number system that I was telling you about. As you create more scenes, Unity numbers them so that if I wanted to, I could have said 0. Okay, so all you have to do is make sure that you add open scene, right? And it is checked off. That's all you have to do. You don't have to hit anything else. Okay, and let's go ahead and close out our GameOver panel by hiding it again to make sure everything works. Let's go ahead and test it out now. Got to crash twice. 1. 2. Then I click this button. Okay, I forgot to do something, folks, and that is located in the play again button. I forgot to assign it. Okay, so go to your play again button. Come here to where it says on click. The list is empty right now, but we're going to go ahead and figure out which one we're going to use. Oops, hit the wrong one. Okay, so make sure it says runtime only. Make sure you're going to grab right here. It's wondering what am I using? Well, I'm using the spaceship. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the spaceship, drag it in there. Okay, now it says what function do I want to use? We're going to look for the player 1, and we need to find the play again right there. Okay, so again, drag your player here, come here, find your player 1, and the function that you want to run is called play again. Okay, so now let's go back here, hide it again. All right, hide that. Hit play. Crash once and crash twice. Panel comes up. If you got this mouse set to fire, this is going to be messing with you. So I took the mouse activation off so I can just click here, and it took me right to the beginning again. Good. And play again, and it's working like a champ. All right. Okay, so I think I kept the video short enough. Let me say. All right, yeah, we're at 26 minutes. Oh my goodness, I didn't want to go that far. So that covers it right there, folks. If you have any questions, raise your hand. Let me know, and that concludes the video.